Hey everybody, what's happening? It's me, Michelle, M. Trey Hollis with Vision Board Music and Vision for the Soul, where we be in harmony and of sound mind, body, and spirit. And today I'm coming to you and presenting this petition that I created on change.org because I really believe that there has got to be a way that we all, everyone that I know at least, and then people they know and people they know, that no matter what your religion, what your political belief, that we have got to get together on a greater vibration of love right now more than ever. There hasn't been a time since I've been alive anyways, where we have just been so polarized and we have been so connected to a story that really has nothing exactly personal to do with us. But when we communicate with somebody else that you actually know, that you've actually had conversations with, that people are willing to dismiss that relationship in exchange for a narrative that suits their extremely negative thinking, honestly, and that points the blame in a certain laid out specific narrative and scenario that everyone carries. It's as if it's as if they've all read the same book. And it's really bizarre. And I know that there's got to be a better way. So I decided, you know what, let's bring music into it. Let's get creative about it. And and it really, honestly, I'll be 100% frank with you. It wasn't really a decision that I made. Last year in 2020, before the pandemic even happened, I actually met an angel, and it's a longer story than really needs to be told now. But basically, the angel said, "Be still." I said, well, let me first say that I asked, how do I know when I'm hearing from God versus when it's my own thoughts? Because I think that's a very important question. And he said, well, how do you talk to God? And at that point, I was just getting out of a dark night of the soul walkabout. And so I wasn't really connected spiritually as I should have been. So I said, I don't know. I talked to God. And he said, well, you listen. He said, the word says, be still and know that I am God. And I said, okay, well, shoot, we could end this conversation here. God's telling me to sit my ass down and pay attention. So that happened. And then maybe a month later, everything got shut down from COVID. So when I stopped my job, or my job got shut down, I went home and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a failure. Everything that I had really seen myself achieving and accomplishing and doing with my business, I never did it. I knew something big like this was on the horizon, but damn it, it caught me before I had made the necessary moves and changes. I felt pretty bad, but 2 days into it, I remembered what the angel said. I'm like, wow, God wasn't playing when he said, be still. He shut the whole world down. And so I said, okay. So then I had a conversation with my friend, and for some reason we always used to tell each other, we used to call each other our Rock of Gibraltars, she said it, I think that day, she said, you're my Rock of Gibraltar. Now we said that because we both grew up in different Baptist churches, but the old timers and the ushers would always say the Rock of Gibraltar. So we always kind of said it as a joke. Because it always was a symbol of being a strength, a firm foundation. So we kind of always said it in jest. But for some reason, it hit different that day. And I thought a little deeper, and I called Sarah. That's my friend's name, Sarah. I said, Sarah, do you know exactly what the Rock of Gibraltar is? What its importance was in the Bible? And she's like, no, not really. And I'm like, neither do I. Let's look into it. And I looked it up and I thought, oh my God. Because what the Rock of Gibraltar is the rock that the 144,000 people, the 12 tribes of Israel, all come together and they all gather on the rock. and they usher in Christ's return and basically a new paradigm, a new earth and a new heaven. And I found another site that talked about how Close Encounters with the Third Kind was like one of those blockbusters, which is basically a Hollywood, some people are of the belief that Hollywood blockbusters, the reason they call them that is because that's there to give us some truth, give us some of the real what's going on, like the Matrix and, all that kind of stuff. And so they said that the Close Encounters of the Third Kind was talking about this, and they talk about the Rock of Gibraltar, subliminally throughout the movie and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, oh God, like I'm reading this like, okay. And so this particular site that I was studying, they also spoke of these songs, the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb that the 144,000 sing. But nobody's supposed to know the Song of the Lamb except the 144,000. But there's a part in Revelations where right after the seven diseases, their 7 plagues or whatnot, are spilled out on the earth, there's 2 verses. It's Revelations 15, chapter 15, verse 3 and 4. And I was given the assignment to turn that into a song, because the angels sing the song, and then a series of events happens to usher in the new earth. And so last year when I got that directive, I created the song, which I used the verses, but I composed the melody and the harmonies. And but then I kind of just left it, because I felt like, who do I think I am, Noah? And really what ended up happening is that my ego got in the way, because I didn't want to present it from this is going to change the world, or this is going to set off, I didn't want to come from that angle. But really it all was ego, because ego prevented me from doing it, because I didn't want it to be about ego, but it also is my ego that stopped me from just going for it. Anyway, so fast forward to a couple weeks ago, I was really just, I'm so upset about the conversations that I'm having with people that I care about. Like, I care about my friends and family. And if I know you and I respect you and our relationship, it's going to really hurt my feelings to know that it doesn't bother you to completely dismiss that the plague that is happening to us now has literally killed one of my family members. And it was a horrible situation all around. And a lot of people have had a lot of deaths. Now, there's some people who are blessed and their circles aren't as large. They don't, they don't have business and personal relationships with people around the globe. Maybe their corner hasn't been touched, and that's a blessing, but to completely dismiss the fact that that's a reality for some people, just really, especially me, especially when I bring it to your attention and then you just completely ignore it. Like, that should be called a clue. Like, if you can ignore the fact that I shared that very information with you so that you're informed that, this is affecting people more than, the people that here, let me share my personal story with you. The fact that you don't address it, but then you go on to just keep posting some bullshit or some, and I hate to say bullshit because I'm not trying to be judgmental, because clearly there's a lot of fear happening and it's not their fault. I don't believe it's your fault if you are so tied into the story that you can't tap into the humanity of someone's actual experience. That makes me scared and sad, So I said, okay, so a couple days ago, I'm thinking about this, man, and it's really upsetting me. And I heard a voice and it said, Are you ready to end suffering? And I said, yes. And then the voice said, well, do the song. Bring 144,000 people together and have them sing parts of the song and just create a song. And I said, okay. And then the Noah's Ark idea, thought started creeping in, like, who do I think I am? Bruce Almighty or something. And then the thought that came right after that was, Michelle, I said, are you ready to end suffering? So even if you do this for a love passion project, and even if the only suffering that you end is yours, it's enough. That's enough of a reason to do it. And I thought, wow, I never, ever thought of it that way. And then the voice went on to say, oh, and by the way, you caring enough to do this, to bring people together to sing this song, whoever wants to do it, there's no hate, in this project. There's no finger pointing. There's no blaming. We overpassing what's happening in what we see. We're reaching for a higher vibration because that's what the Bible's all about. So I invite my fellow Christian people. I mean, I wouldn't really consider myself a Christian, but I follow Christ all day. I have a personal relationship with the Holy Bible. And as I've been reading it and really strengthening my personal relationship with God and with understanding the offerings that have been presented to us through the Holy Bible, I'm blown away. And I understand it on a level from doing, I listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Greg Braden, meditation, Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. I love science, so I'm very well-rounded in the information that I consume. And really, I don't consume a lot of politics and opinions because that's exactly all that is. But what I do like to understand is the power of the human mind and the human heart, especially when we amplify it through connectivity and being on the same frequency of vibration. So when the voice said to me, by the way, when you do this, because you're doing it out of love and for an opportunity to bring people together for something we can agree on and care about that's bigger than this divide that's being created, the effect on that is going to have the possibility to inspire others to do the same. To say, hey, that was fun. And yeah, why don't we look over here instead? And so you're enough for that too. And so I was so touched by understanding that I am enough on such a deeper level, like to end my suffering is enough of a reason to do this. And really to bring people together is awesome. So I created a change.org petition inviting 144,000 people to record their voice in whatever octave or whatever, alto, soprano, and tenor. And I am just inviting you all to just sing the song with me. It's two beautiful verses. Basically, the only requirements is that you have to care about something bigger than you, bigger than me, and an opportunity to lift your voice to declare something better and to write a better ending to the story. Because right now what it feels like is that everyone's given up hope. Everyone is just believing that we're on the path of human extinction, and they're looking for someone to blame. That's what it feels like is happening. And I don't think that that's necessary. I think to the degree which we are arguing over things that are fact, there are facts. People have died very, very horrible and lonely deaths to this disease. I don't think it's trivial to speak on whether it's real or not. I mean, I don't think there's a need to do that. I think that's a grotesque negligence, and it's really a hypnosis of sorts. And that's why I'm like, let's break that vibe. Let's break that frequency and let's lift it up. Because I believe that there is a narrative, there is a storyline that we can create where everybody wins, where everyone just really did the best they could to protect themselves and to protect their family, whether they feel like not taking the vaccine, which, I mean, I can't blame anyone for the distrust that we have for our leadership, especially in our country. I'm sorry, and it's like, I just feel like it's strange because the people that would say that, like, oh, how dare you talk about America, are the ones that ran the Capitol or that, invaded the Capitol because they didn't trust. So it's like there's just so much smoke and mirrors and illusions, and it's not good. I feel like the point of life and the truth of life is being they're trying to dim the light on what life is really about. And we have creative control in this narrative just as much as anyone else. So this is going to be fun. This is designed that's the most in depth that I'm going to talk about why I did it or why I'm doing this. But really at this point, let's just get together and sing the song. So the song goes, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true you are. Wait, sorry. Okay, I gotta start that up. Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thy King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord? Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. All nations shall come and worship before thee, 'cause your judgments are made manifest. Simple, two quick, decisive verses that we can stand in unity for. Anyone that believes, or anyone that's open to believing a better opportunity than is presented to us. Now, you'll see on the petition, I go into a lot more deeper detail of my beliefs of what the offerings of Christ are. So, I'm not going to go into that on the video. The video, I really just wanted to kind of share the song and tell you a little bit more about the backstory of why and how I came to come up with this opportunity. So when I get 144,000 recorded voices, then my goal is to figure out how to create a recorded session with all the voices together and just hear that song being sang powerfully by so many people who basically are just taking a stand of global unity by doing it. And then I want to go to the Rock of Gibraltar and play it. And it's just a project to just get involved, to be somebody who decided to do something different, to express their love and belief in humanity. Because going through the political system, in my opinion, is not the answer. That's not the business. It's going to take a whole new leadership of life. So I also want to create a Zoom meeting probably within the next week or so, and I'll post more information about that here soon. And the Zoom meeting, I just want a bunch of people to get together and figure out resolutions. Just talk about solving some problems. Just coming from a place of, what if we all were just individuals and we just wanted to get people together and we just wanted to resolve some of our issues. Like, let's get together and just talk it out. Let's get together and imagine in 3 months what would be awesome if it happened. Like, I want us to use our creative faculties and just start telling a new story. That's basically what it boils down to. But anyways, I love you all. If you're seeing this, it's because you can participate if you want. If this cause, if you would like to say that you did something to say that, hey, you want to believe for a better story, if you just, this is it. It doesn't cost a thing. Let's make it happen. Peace and blessings.